All right, squad, in today's video, we are going to add attributes or custom fields to our places and our listings. So I'll give you a look at what that looks like. So if we jump in, we're gonna add it to the editing screen here. You're gonna be able to add these custom attributes, which we're gonna seed to the database, and we're gonna store them like this. So we're gonna have custom fields, which basically is the description of the field, and then we're gonna have custom field values. So something you'd see in a CMS. And then from there, we're gonna render those fields on the page like this. And we're gonna use Rails nested attributes to create, update, and destroy, so that when you send a blank value, it destroys it, and away we go. So let's jump in. Okay, let's jump in. So today what I'm thinking, so last time we did the gallery, and today I'm thinking we should add the ability to add attributes to a place. So we're looking at, so when I mean attributes, I mean like, so if we're looking at a place, let's jump into like Gerringong here and have a search. What I'm thinking is like, when you're looking at something, you want to see like, are there picnic tables? Is there a swimming pool? So that's for like the places in particular, but also for accommodation, we want to be able to say like, you know, how many bedrooms does it have? And those, like, we'll refer to those as attributes. So we're going to create a table for attributes that we kind of predefine. And then each place or listing can, you know, say this attribute and then give a value for that. Okay, so we can define that. So the first things that we're going to do is set up the attributes table. So jumping in, we're going to go Rails G model. We're going to call it an attribute. And an attribute is just going to have, so if we jump into the migrations, we're going to go to DB. Let's go DB migrate, scroll down here. And then what are we going to have? So we're going to have a key. It's a string, right? And then we're going to have a string, and that's going to be title. And then we're going to have a text field, which is a description. So basically just describing what that attribute is. So for instance, I've got it here in the DB from previous thing, we have a key for picnic tables. And then that basically, the description of that was like, there are tables available, change rooms. And then it says there's an enclosed room for changing clothes, right? So it just kind of describes what the attribute is. And then like barbecue is barbecue facilities, okay? Very simple. And that's pretty much it. So we've got the key, the title, and the description. Now we could consider this unique, and I think we probably should, because we're going to look that up by key. So we need to add that in. And to do that, we're just going to go here. We're going to go here. It's null false, because if we do need it to be there, and then we're going to index unique true. All right, let's just see if that runs. So if we go here, we go Rails, DB migrate, run that, and then jump in here. Let's go to our luxury stays app. There's attributes, key, indexed, unique. Okay, so that's all good. And if we change indexes, you can see the index attributes on key is there as well. So, and that's a unique key. All right, sweet, easy as. So the next one we're going to add is the actual attribute. So it's either a place attribute or a listing attribute. So I think because I'm probably want to run this one polymorphic. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to create a model. Now this is just me off the top of my head, as per usual. We're going to go for an attribute value, right? So what that table represents is either a place or a listing. Now, if we only had one of entities, I'd probably call this a listing attribute or a place attribute. Because it's polymorphic, it gets a bit harder to name the place and the listing. Like you could call it an entity attribute, but I think calling it an attribute value is quite clear as well, because we'll just say an attribute value belongs to either a place or a listing, and it's a polymorphic table, which is the subject, and then we can just have the value and the key. So let's give that a go. Look, things are meant to be built and broken. So here we go. So we're going to say t dot belongs to, the first thing it belongs to is an attribute, right? So that's the first thing, it belongs to the attributes table. And then we're going to say t dot belongs to, and this is going to be the subject, and this is polymorphic, right? And polymorphic just means that it can have a subject type and a subject ID. It doesn't have to be one entity type. It can belong to any. And Rails is good at handling this active record, so I do like using it when I can. And then finally, we just need the value. So now with this one, actually with the value, it's like it can either be, we could call it the value. So it's attribute value dot value would be how we do it. I've used description before. So it depends if we want it to be a text, like how much, I think these things are kind of like labels. It's like bedrooms 1, barbecues 2, yes, no. I think that's kind of how we want the value. We don't really need to store it as a text, so we can probably leave that for now. So we'll create attribute values, belongs to an attribute, belongs to a subject. All right, so let's roll that. We go Rails DB migrate, send it. Okay, so now we just need to link up the models. So we're gonna jump in here, we're gonna go to models, we're gonna go to attribute. So an attribute has many attribute values, right? And we're gonna say here, belongs to attribute, attribute, and belongs to subject, polymorphic true. Okay. Now, we need to also put on the listing. So we're gonna say has many, so it's gonna have has many, what is going on here? Has many attribute values as subject, similar to the image. And then it's also gonna have many attributes through attribute values, right? That's a hard word to write. Okay. And attribute values are subject dependent destroy, right? So we wanna, when we delete this thing, you wanna destroy it. You also wanna destroy the images as well, actually. So when you delete the listing, now we can also actually grab this, because I'm pretty sure it'll be similar for the place. So here we can say that, and we can get rid of that one. Has many listings, go here. Great. All right, so attribute values. Let's just double check this is all wired correctly. If we jump in here, listing equals listing dot last, excuse me. Listing, try to define an associated name attributes on a model listing, which will come from attributes already. Probably should have named that differently. I did this in something that wasn't using active record last time. All right, roll back. Let's go. This is the joys of doing everything live. Someone probably was yelling at their monitor saying, what are you doing? So roll back. Roll back. So what can we call this? So in Airbnb, they call them amenities. And I guess that's probably something that we could use. I guess, yeah, but I mean snorkeling, like for instance, snorkeling or water skiing is not really an amenity. It could be a feature. So I'm using my old mate here, ChatGPT. So we could have metadata is probably something that's, yeah, it's annoying. It's quite software-like. Can't call it a property because it's too close to like a listing, I think. So yeah, let's have a keep looking. So it looks like it's saying it encapsulates amenities, features, or offerings, right? Like I don't know if it's an offering. Probably you wouldn't go that far. Like a bedroom is not really an offering. It's probably a feature. It's like what's the name? It doesn't sit with me 100%. But like look, I can't. Attribute for me is the best. I almost think like we could go with like an entity attribute, listing attribute, or something like that. Look, I think like realistically, the best naming would be something like listing feature. Like that is probably good. Like, but then you have place feature, and I don't know if we should split it. We could, because like we have place types and listing types. So maybe that's what we do. Maybe we go with is a listing feature or a listing attribute and then a place attribute, because then we can split the difference. Because I think like bedrooms is very specific to a listing, or like breakfast, or if you're talking about a restaurant, it's going to be different to a place, which is a place is more like a beach or a town. So maybe we should split them, and then we don't have to, it's easier to display. So let's try and roll with that. So I think because that way we can just go place attribute here. Right, so let's actually have to delete this. Let's go Rails D model, because I think it's probably going to be easiest. Delete the attribute model and delete the attribute value. Now what we'll do is we'll generate the models again. So first we're going to generate this. We're going to go, let's go with a place attribute. I wonder if using attributes clever inside here, place feature. Let's call it a place feature. A feature of the place. It just doesn't feel 100% right. See, this is the thing. You do live coding, but then like it's just trying to come up with it. Naming. Naming's so hard in code because you want to get it right. A place feature, place attribute. I just wonder if we have the naming collision there, which is super annoying inside of Rails. Place feature, and then place feature value. I wonder if we have features, and then we can just set the type on that table. So let's go with generated model called a feature or metadata. All right, here we go. So we're kind of going down the field. I've used this before in the past, custom fields, and I think that actually works really well, like a CMS, because we could eventually allow custom fields that don't exist. And then you could have, there's like feature, I like custom fields actually. And then see here, attributes is commonly used, but conflicts, which is super annoying because attributes, for me, the best. Let's go with this. Let's go with custom field. Right, I do like that. And then here we're gonna just go custom field value. Okay, let's do that. That'll work. All right, so close all this off. So here we go, custom field has many values, and that's gonna be class custom field value and belongs to custom field and also belongs to subject polymorphic. Man, that's a little bit of a detour, which is great. So create custom fields, same thing here again. So we're gonna go t.string key nullable false, and then we're gonna do the index here. T.string title and t.string description for now, okay? So sorry, that's null false, index unique true. And then here we've got custom field values that belongs to custom field. And here we got t.string is the value. Custom field value dot value. It's never the best, but it'll do. And that will also t dot belongs to subject. The nice thing about custom fields is if you do use this in a different project, you can actually set the type. So you could, like, see at the moment, I'm just kind of storing all the data as a string, but you could have a type here. And this is what CMS do. You could have like, it's a text field, or it's a number field, or it's a, you know, text area, description, markdown, whatever you want. So then you can store that data however you need. So you could have a JSON-B or whatever. So I've done this in the past. It is a very flexible model, so it does work well. So custom fields is a good option here. So let's go and see. So we just need to update our listing. It says has many custom fields through custom field values. Right, so let's copy that and put that in place as well. And then let's see if that works now, hopefully. So we're gonna go listing.last, and we're gonna say listing. So listing.last.custom fields. What have I done? Unasked class name, Ken. So let's see, it might even just be this, hey. If you just don't run db migrate. Gets you on the big jobs, eh? There we go. Yeah, so when you actually run the database migration, things generally work, funnily enough. So there we go. So we're actually working. So we can access custom fields, custom field values. Now, cool. That's awesome. Let's now go and add these seeds in here. So what we're going to seed next is we're going to be 6 custom fields. You know what I've also forgotten? I've forgotten to set a type, right? Because what we want to do, and I don't know if we should just do this right now, is be able to define the custom field is for a listing or for a place so that we can filter them and you only show the right things. But look, let's just keep moving. So we're going to go custom fields. All right, could have just, there we go, custom fields. Start setting custom fields. All right, so let's go. What do we have so far? Let me open Valentina and I can see what I've done earlier. So to give some context, I was building an app that was very similar, but it was just about beaches. So now I'm using the same thing because places and beaches are very similar. So let's sort them. So we got some here like forward drive on beach. Probably not going to add that one right now, but let's go barbecue, right? So the key is barbecue and the title is BBQ. And then I'm just literally, so what I'm going to do later is just copy paste all of this stuff because it's very time consuming to enter, but we can do like calm waters. That's really important for, you know, for a beach. Does it have calm waters? And then yeah, slow moving water without waves. So I've gone and done all this work prior, right? But I'll push it all up. I'm not going to do adding, I'll just add 3 for now. Dog friendly, that's a good one. Dog friendly, so there's the place. Dog friendly, very cool, very important for dog owners. So here we go. Description, I just want to quickly show an example. So here we go, listing types. This is going to be custom fields. Right, and then here we're going to go custom field. It's very repetitive work here because it's like you could definitely get your mate cursor to help you out here. Custom field because it's very similar. So we're going to add the title and we're going to add the description in here. So the way this works, I don't know if you're jumping in for the first time, find or create by is very handy. It either finds the field by key. If it does, we're doing nothing with it. So that's cool. So you can return it. But if it doesn't exist, it's going to pass this block here and R is the entity. And then you can set the properties on that. So if it doesn't exist, we're going to set the description and title and then save it, right? So we're going to do that. And it's only going to set those fields if it doesn't already exist. So something to keep in mind, if it doesn't, you update this and it's not updating the table, that's what you need to remember. Otherwise you can just find the table and then update it. Find or create it and then update it after. So that's cool. So let's now run exit this and go Rails DB seed. All right, I've done a video on seeding in case you don't know how it works, but you can have a look at that one. So let's jump into luxury stage development. Custom fields. Now we should have some custom fields there. Okay, so the next thing what we want to do is let's just test out like creating an actual value. So we're going to go here, let's create a new, so we're going to go find a place. So place is going to be place.find and we are going to use, or maybe even Gerringong. What attributes do we have? We have barbecue. Does Kiama Beach have a, or does Kiama have a barbecue? Now these are actual towns, they're not beaches. So realistically, we want to add the different beaches. So let's see if we can actually do that right now. If we jump into our dashboard, it's saying that we're logged out. Let's log in. Sweet. We'll go to our hyper sophisticated dashboard here, places. Let's add, there's a beach here called South Coast and it's a place, it's a beach and it's called Kendall's Beach. All right, let's save that. Okay, so it's place 6. So we're gonna find that and then we're gonna say place. Now we can just actually go, we're gonna go place, no, it's not, it's custom field value.create. We're gonna go subject is place. We're gonna say custom field ID. Let's just use the ID so it's quick. So we don't have to go and look it up. But if we just go into our custom fields here and we can say the custom field is barbecue 1, right? And then what we're gonna say here is the value of that. Does it have a barbecue? And we're gonna say no. All right, I don't know if it does, it might. But anyway, we're gonna hit that, custom field. So now we've created that. Now if we go to our place and we go place.custom fields, we're gonna now see that it has barbecue as a custom field, which is great. But if we wanna actually see the values, we can see here. So we can actually see now the custom field value for the custom field 1 is no, okay? So we're setting those custom field values. What we want to do, obviously, is when you're editing a place, we want to be able to show these custom fields down here, and then you'll be able to select the ones that you do have and actually add values for those. So now the UI is going to determine how you want this to look, and I still actually haven't figured out what that exactly looks like. So let's see if we can dive into that. So I think the ugliest way that we can do it, like realistically, the nice way would be to like add attribute, show something, choose the attribute, type the value, save. Like that's the nicest way. But just for now, like to do, because it's like a CMS, it's not really people, it's the only person adding is me. I think what we can do here is inside of the dashboard, inside of places, we're gonna have so it's the place detail. So where are we actually editing this thing? We're gonna put inside of that. So let's just look at our controllers, V1, dashboard, places, edit. This form at the moment, right? So it's just literally this guy here. Very basic, just using basic things here. But what we could do now is actually add in, we can loop through the custom fields and show them. But we do need to add, I think we need to add the entity type here to this column. So let's go and add that actually first. So we need to just go and add it in. So what I want to do is I want to roll back. I think you could just add it, but because we haven't actually deployed yet, I'm not too worried about. Let's see if we can do this. We're going to go Rails DB. It's DB migrate down. Oh no, it's DB migrate down version equals, and then here we're going to grab this guy, the ID, and that's the custom fields. Is that going to work? Yes. And then what we want to do here is we want to actually go through, and we also want to add in here t.string, and it's going to be for entity type. Well, I mean, technically it should really be subject type. So this is where we're going to define basically a filter. So this custom field can only be assigned to this entity type, which will be place or listing. Okay. So let's do that. Let's migrate that. I think we're going to have broken. Yeah, well, our custom fields table is going to be broken now because we deleted it all. But here we can now say, and I really think we're probably going to have to format this. So let's just do that. Okay, so I've tidied that up and I'm just adding subject type here. So this is going to be for place, right? I'm just going to use the same like it's the class name here. And this is crying because it doesn't want a trailing comma, which I like. It's annoying that it doesn't want it. So let's go Rails DB seed. Now we're probably going to have an orphaned custom field type here. So if we go here, so it doesn't have the subject type. It's already seeded that. Okay. So we can just add these in manually. It's because it obviously hasn't dropped. It should have dropped the table. So I'm a little bit confused. You know what it is, Ken? Ken's a dongus. I have to add this in here. Right, I didn't do that. Okay, cool. So that's seeded. Now are we gonna have orphans here? Here we are. So this is referencing custom field 1, which is barbecue. So it's kept the IDs there, so that's good because we dropped the table. So lucky, happy days. But that could create a problem there. All right. So now what we can do in the form here is we can actually have a look. And we got the description. Now under here we can have, now I wonder if we could run it on the side because we have this room here. But anyway, so let's go under the description so when you're editing, we're going to pass in here, we're going to pass in custom fields. Okay, and we also need to do that on the, do we want it? We probably want to keep the new simple, and then on the edit, we'll show all of them. So we'll do something special here to just prevent a crash. But what we're going to do is v1 dashboard, and we're in places. We're going to go into edit, and then there's going to be set form depths, right? So here, custom fields. And what we're also going to do here is where subject type is place. Okay, we need to create a policy. You know what? I'm just going to duplicate something. This one. Custom field policy. And then we just have to rename this. Now, obviously overkill. It's only when you're going to allow users to create custom fields do we need policy. So at the moment, we're just scoping all. Just good practice to have those policies in. It can get you, and it has got me before. So I like to just do it now. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say if custom fields is defined, then I'm going to run this, right? So I need to do an if here. So we're going to say custom fields dot each do custom field. Now we need to loop through and actually create a new div. So let's look at this one, like a form like this. And there's going to be a little bit of work getting this to actually work. So this is going to be it's going to be a nested field. So I almost think like we can't use this one because we have to actually set up a new form to create, because we need to, here we're creating an array of values. So we need to also be able to accept custom field. We're going to be creating custom field values here. So our place model needs to accept nested attributes for. So let's set that up. So just above the validate, so you just stick this one, and that's going to be accept nested attributes for, and it's going to be custom field values. That's really what the main thing that we're concerned about here. We need to just see how we can do that. And my main thing that's happening in my brain now is like just making sure that we update. If we don't want to create new ones all the time. So we have to just figure that out and find the actual value. So let's see. So realistically, when we set a place, we also want to eager load. This is just a performance optimization. We want to make sure we're loading custom field values and then custom field for that value. So we're just fetching that now when we're loading this guy, just so that we're not doubling up. And let's see the SQL that's being created. Here we go. So you can see we're preloading all the custom fields here. Okay. It's a little bit of a performance thing there. Now, what we need to do is we need to loop through every custom field that exists and use that. So custom fields we've loaded those, that should load, and we're looping through, and then we need to create a new nested form. Okay, so I'm just gonna go a little bit off the cuff here. So I think type is equal to text, and the name, so let's just format this properly. The name is going to be, so we're in a place, and then it's going to be called custom field values attributes, and it's an array. And the first, and then we're going to have a key. So this will be the key. No, this will be the ID. So it'll be the custom field ID. Okay. So that's what we're getting out of here. So we basically, this input's just going to be the actual ID of the custom field, right? So let's just see what that looks like. I've done something wrong with the HTML. Yep. I haven't put a quote there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's the IDs of each thing. Okay, so now technically we're gonna hide those because we don't want to see them. So this is gonna be hidden true. Or is it just hidden? Let me see if just hidden works. Okay, so the only problem is we do need, I don't know if hidden, I mean, we just have to make sure they actually submit. No, disabled fields don't submit. Okay, so that's just what I'm thinking. Disabled fields won't send the value, hidden's will. Okay, so that's cool. The next one here though, so inside that same thing, what we're gonna have here is the value, right? And this is going to be a text, and this will just be nothing for now. But what we need to do is actually find the value from the custom field values that we already have in case you've set it before. Okay, so that's that. And then we should technically see that. Why are we not seeing it now? It's because hidden, you don't want that. Dun, dun, dun. And then we need a little label as well. So we need a little label. And it's annoying because like I would like to use this. I wonder if I can. That's the only thing. Can I use this key? I mean, let's try, because this is a nice styled key for us. Let's see if it works. I don't think it works with this symbol here, which is annoying. But I do think we've actually built this form component, which is nice. If we've built it properly, yeah, we've got a field here or a label. So we are just using this guy. So we can just copy it. Put that there. And then the label is going to be custom field dot title. And the form is that. There we go, barbecue, calm waters, pet friendly, beauty. All right, we're gonna go flex col here. Yep, there we go. Now, obviously we just need to style this field. So we can grab the class name, which is this. It's a bit annoying. Like realistically, we need to be able to have a field, but that's something we can look at later. I just want to get the functionality working here. These videos always blow out. They turn into much bigger. All right, so here we go. So now what we got is like the attributes, right? So we got barbecue, calm waters, dog friendly, right? So that's really nice. So we probably want to move that away. So I'll just zoom in a bit so you can see here, barbecue, calm waters, dog friendly. What we want to now do is show the value, right? So to find the value, it's a bit lame because it's here, but what we need to do is we need to say custom field values dot find. I'm going to use find here like this, and it will be, I'm just going to call custom, I mean, yeah, let's just go value v, and it'll be v dot custom field ID is equal to the custom field that we're currently looping through. All right. And then let's see, I mean, we can even do that. Let's see if that works. But then it's dot value. So we need to be careful here because it could return nil. Okay, there we go. So that worked. So I'm using this find method because I don't want to trigger another DB. So I don't want to do like find by or something that triggers like a database call. I want to just use the data we've already fetched and then just grab and pull it out of the array. All right, so now we've got barbecue no. Now, the hard part is, will this actually work going up? We need to, in our places controller, allow this. Custom field values attributes, but you need to let this through. So we need to actually go something like this. So it actually, yeah, looks like that, and then there, and then what we want to allow through is the ID. So it's custom field ID, and we also want to allow through the value because the subject's being defined by the thing. All right, so we're going to pass through the value and the custom field ID. All right, All right, how's our little house of cards looking? Let's see. Let's go here. And let's go calm waters, yes. So nothing's saved, so that's lame. But you can see here there's 3 things. So custom field ID, and then this one's nothing. But it hasn't done anything to save that. So that's a bit annoying. Now, it's returned a 200. So let's have a look at why that's not saving. Okay, so I think I've just seen it. So places, it should be place. All right. And then we also need to handle the update. So let's just see firstly, let's just get this working. Refresh that guy. Yes. Let's check this. I see something. Here we go. Okay, so firstly, we want to ignore blank because like it's creating blank values for it here. Right, we don't want to store them if we don't have them. But if we go in now, calm waters, yes. Okay, so that's good. So we've got insert working. So now we're creating custom field values, which is great. But there are some things we want to do. Like we want to basically reject them if they're not set, because that's just annoying. We don't want that. All right, so you can see here, if we go change calm waters to no, come back in, it still says yes. So what we need to do, and let's just double check, like hopefully it's not creating, see what it's doing, it's just creating multiple here, which is super lame. We don't want that. So let's just destroy all these for now. What we want to do, so let's go and save that, boom, edit. We should have 1 set now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pass in another hidden field here. So we're playing with the hidden. We're using manual just to, it's just a little bit easier to set this up in my head. So we're going to pass in the ID of the custom field. So you can see here now, I'm actually need this guy twice. So I'm going to open up this Ruby block here and I'm going to pull this code out, which is the find, right? So where we're actually finding the custom field value, right? So this is the custom field value. So we're pulling the custom field value out here. And now what we can do is we can say, this is the custom field value down here, which is what we set. But now what we can do is, yeah, it's like, this is the custom field ID. So if we've got that, sorry, the custom field value ID is. So that's the actual value of the one that we're using. Let's see now. So you should be able to, if we jump in here and have a little inspect, let me pull that guy over. You can see here, we've got ID is 11, right? And now if we look in the DB, that's that guy, okay? So now if we update this to yes, and jump back in, it's still creating, still got a bug. Okay, I know why, it's good. We know the solution. All right, so in here, we need to allow ID as well. So let's just open this up so it's easier. You've got to let that through. Otherwise, Rails will not let that through and we're gonna have a bad time. So let's just delete these guys. Try again. All right, and we're gonna say, yes, save, please work. Yes, there it is. And there we go, and update it. Okay, so that's how we handle update. Now we just need to have a filter for when that's empty. So what we can try is in the controller, the model, we can add this reject if block. And we're gonna say, if the attributes of value is blank, we wanna reject it, yeah? So let's see here. Now, obviously we've already saved this, so I don't know if that's gonna work. But let's delete them all. Now, what I am concerned about, is this gonna still work if we change it to blank? Right, so here we got yes, yes, empty, save that, what happens? It works for that, but if we now go barbecue no, okay, well that's obviously gonna update to no because that's text. But if we just deleted barbecue, it's not deleting it. So that's kind of annoying. So that really doesn't work. There is also the ability where you can actually destroy the object if you pass through a flag. So really, like, you'd have a checkbox here. It's like destroy, which just doesn't, I mean, that's where you'd have in the UI where you could just click on it and delete it. So reject if doesn't really work here. So we might have to have a filter. And it's not just reject if, it's almost like destroy. I would love it if we could have a destroy if. All right, got it. So what we need to do here is accept nested attributes for custom field values, reject if, and I'm using this reject blank method here, allow destroy true. Now what we're doing is we're saying if the value is blank, we're going to do 2 checks. Firstly, we're going to see if the ID is present. We're going to merge into the attributes the destroy flag. So if you pass in underscore destroy 1 to nested attributes, it will delete the record and we're going to return false. Otherwise, we're just going to reject it because it's blank, right? So it's not going to save. And here it's not going to be rejected, but it is going to be merged in. And now we have this functioning page. So you can see barbecue is blank, calm waters, yes, dog friendly, yes. And you can see here. And then if we change this to no and we remove this one, we should have 1 just with no. And now if we edit this and we say it does have a barbecue and it's dog friendly, you can see there. And if we change that and we say dog friendly, yes, there we go. All right, so we're handling nested attributes and features like that. So it's a little bit more complex, like dealing with the form helpers and stuff. Like I didn't use the form helper here, but you can, it is possible. I just find it sometimes a little bit easier to do it this way. So what we're doing is we're looping through the custom fields. We're finding the custom field value, we're putting it in if it exists, and then you can modify and you can delete. And then that's very clean. So now when we add new custom fields, it's all dynamic and it'll just show up here and people can add them and say yes or no, right? So like realistically, if we wanted to set a type, we could set a select box with 2 options, but that's pretty cool. So from there, we just need to add them and actually go and do this. What we could do is we could have nice icons and stuff, but I think I might do that a little bit later. But if we go into, so it was Kendall's Beach, what we wanted to do here is have like some sort of features thing. So it's going to be very similar. So if we go into a place show, we're using the place description. So let's create a new component quickly. So this is just running. I want to push it in here just so we can make sure we're getting as much as possible. But let's go description, copy that component, paste it here. And then what we're going to do is going to call this custom fields just to keep the naming the same. And it's here, custom fields, and we're going to take in the place. Got the place, and then here we're going to say the title is going to be, this is where it's like, what does it have? Like amenities and features, or features. Let's just call it features for now. It's not a div. Let's just close that off. So it goes here. Now we want to loop through. So let's just do this. It'll be a flex call w4. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say, if we jump in here, let's go Rails G view component, and it's place detail / custom fields / let's just call it a value. Okay, and we're gonna loop. So we're gonna go custom field. So all I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna define that here. Custom field values actually is place.custom field values. And we're gonna loop through these. Custom field value. And then we're gonna go component. So it's, what are we have place detail. And like we should probably pull this component out. So I might do that in another video, but we go place detail, custom fields / value. And we're gonna have custom field value is custom field value. And there's a mistake. We need to close the bracket. Sweet. And then we're going to pass that through here. And we should be including that. So let's just jump in our controller again for a performance thing. If we look at our places, show, we actually haven't included that. So let's go here. We're gonna include custom field values, and we're gonna include the custom field. Let's see, we got that. And then this is really just gonna be, it's a div, it's a flex with justify between. So we're gonna go flex, we're gonna say justify. This is, again, how you wanna run this. And we're gonna have 2 spans. This will be custom field value dot custom field dot title. And this will be custom field value dot value. Now we need to chuck it into our actual show here. So we're gonna go description, and then we're gonna go here. There we go. Okay, so that obviously doesn't look right because it's too far apart, but there you go. So we've got calm waters, barbecue, dog friendly. Now we could do a sort. Now the problem that I'm finding is when you call order on here, we're gonna trigger another DB query, which we don't wanna do. So I'm actually tending to do this. And then I'm gonna go v.customfield.title. I think it's sort by, there, B, C, D, yes. So I do that now. I tend to do this as a performance, especially when using view components. You don't want to trigger queries within inside of the view component. You just really want to use the data that you have. And that is not, I don't think it's going to call the DB again. I could be wrong. But what I've been doing this more in production stuff, environments now. So we're selecting the places. And you can see we're not calling again to custom fields or custom field values. Okay, so we're just calling it once. The images probably needs to be updated because there's a dual call there. Just something to keep an eye on, especially in view components. If you are making calls, like that can really be a performance issue. But let's just quickly set here. We're gonna go class. I'm gonna set a width on this. So W, I don't know. Let's go 20. What have I done? Oh, okay, it's because it's too short. 24, I think 30 is a number, 24. And then what we want to do, justify between. So if we go width here, tailwind, maybe a 32. You're gonna have to play with this in mobile also, it's gonna be different. Something like that, right? It doesn't look good. I would probably use some sort of icon here and make it look way nicer. So if you had a look at, like, let's look at Airbnb, right? For instance, this is kind of where you want to think. Today, I'm just doing the structure, but this is what you want, right? We want this, we want icons. So we need to put in the time to find icons, all of that kind of stuff, show us the amenities, and then see, here's the description that we're talking about. So realistically, we want to have a cool icon, and then that, and this is really cool, like what this place offers, right? Like, well, hopefully I didn't break anything then. You know, like that's reads nicer. And then, yeah, like, look, let's just try and quickly tidy up. I know this video is probably going to run too long, but YOLO, can do what I want. It's my channel and we can have a great time. So we're gonna run that. And then what we wanna do is chuck a gap here. Let's do a gap of 2. Gapo 2. Sick that one. We don't want it there though. We actually want it on the list. There. And then using Airbnb's like style. I mean, they haven't really done much here, but we probably want like a secondary color. I don't know if we've defined this in this app, but let's see if we have. If we've got text secondary, yeah, we do, because I copied it. Boom. And then like I almost reckon we could drop the font here, so you could go like text small, like even maybe extra small. Yeah, it's a bit tight. And then like you could do like, because you make it more like a label, like font, semi-bold, tracking wide. Tracking wider, I think. It might be too small. So you got something like that, barbecue, and then you could fit the icon there, and that's a bit nicer. And you could even do it as a grid. Might even work. Like we could roll with grid and then grid col 2, possibly. We need to remove. Why are you not grid colon for me, brother? Grid col 2. Let's see what's going on. But again, you can just play with this. This is up to you to see how you want to go. Oh, I think it's grid cols, actually. There we go, grid cols. Sick. So you can just run that, okay? So then that's how you can style that how you want and play with it. But that's it. So we've added it and excellent. So next time, I have no idea what we're gonna do, but we'll do something really cool. So slowly this product's becoming fleshed out. That's why I'm finding it harder to actually see what things I want to implement. Maybe some sorting of images, but hey, we'll figure it out next time. Until then, catch you later.